In the cold, dark edge of space, far from the center of the Galactic Empire, a small listening station floated quietly above a dead moon. It was supposed to be a boring job. The Empire placed these stations across the galaxy to watch for signs of enemy movement, pirate signals, or strange space events. Most of the time, they picked up nothing but silence. Mira, a young technician with bright eyes and a sharp mind, had worked there for 3 months. She often spent long nights watching empty screens and drinking hot caffeine. Her job was to check the scanners and report anything strange. So far, she had never found anything worth reporting. Until today. It started with a soft beep on her console. Mira looked up from her tablet. The scanner showed a strange energy pattern moving slowly near the border of Empire space. It was not like any signal she had seen before. It wasn't a star or a comet. It wasn't a ship with known engines. It was different. She called her supervisor, an older officer named Dallin. He frowned as he looked at the screen. "That's not possible," he said. "But it's real," Mira replied. "Look, it's coming closer." The signal was growing stronger. It moved with purpose, like it was being controlled. But the strangest part was its silence. No message, no ID code, no engine signature. Just a deep, humming energy. Within minutes, the station sent an emergency message to Empire Command. A fleet was scrambled. Ships jumped into space near the unknown object, ready for anything. At first, they could see nothing. Then, it appeared. A ship, massive, dark, and silent, slid into view. Its surface was covered in glowing lines like veins of light pulsing slowly. It had no windows, no markings, and no visible weapons. The ship did not answer hails, it did not change course, it just kept moving, straight toward the heart of the Empire. Command ordered the fleet to follow, but not attack. Everyone wanted answers, not war. Mira was called to join the science team. She was nervous, but also excited. It was the first real mystery in her life. She boarded a fast Empire vessel called the Raven with a team of scientists and soldiers. Their mission? To study the ship, try to board it, and find out where it came from. As the Raven approached the unknown ship, its lights flickered, then changed color, as if it noticed them. Commander Reyes, a strong and quiet leader, watched from the bridge. He turned to Mira. "You picked up the signal first. What do you think it is?" "I think it's trying to talk," she said. "But not in our way." Reyes nodded slowly. "Let's see if it wants to talk back." They sent a basic signal, light, sounds, patterns. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the ship responded. It pulsed once, like a heartbeat. Then again, and again. "It's alive," someone whispered. Mira stared at the screen. The ship wasn't just a machine. It was more than that. It seemed to be thinking. Suddenly, the ship changed direction. Without warning, it turned and jumped, fast, toward the Empire's capital planet. The fleet followed, confused and afraid. Command was in panic. No one had ever seen anything like this. Some wanted to destroy the ship. Others said to wait. But no one knew what the ship wanted. Back on the Raven, Mira stood beside Reyes. "Why is it going to the capital?" she asked. "I don't know," he replied. "But I think we're running out of time." The strange ship reached the edge of the capital's solar system. Defense systems powered up. Fighters were launched. People across the planet looked to the sky, hearing warnings of an unknown object. Then something even stranger happened. The ship slowed down and stopped. It floated silently in space, just outside the planet's orbit. No weapons, no message. Just silence. Mira noticed something on her screen. "There's a signal," she said. "It's repeating." The team listened. A deep, echoing tone played every few seconds. It wasn't words. It was a pattern. But somehow, Mira felt like it meant something. Like it was a warning. As they watched, the glowing lines on the ship's hull began to change. They formed strange shapes, symbols no one could read. And then, just as suddenly as it had come, the ship powered down. The lights faded. The signals stopped. It just floated. The fleet held position. Weapons ready. Waiting. Inside the Raven, Mira felt a chill. She didn't know why, but she couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. Something had come, and it was watching. The strange ship remained silent, floating in space like a ghost. Empire Command didn't know what to do. They couldn't scan inside the ship. They couldn't talk to it. They couldn't even tell if anything was alive in there. But one thing was clear. The ship was not ordinary. It had technology far beyond what the Empire understood. The Emperor ordered a special mission. A science team would board the ship and find out what it was. Commander Reyes was chosen to lead the team. He was calm, brave, and experienced. Mira, the young technician who discovered the signal, was also added to the team. Some officers questioned this choice. She was young and not a soldier. But Reyes believed her connection to the ship's signal was important. The science vessel. The Raven slowly moved toward the unknown ship. As they got closer, the lights on the alien hull began to glow again. This time they pulsed slowly, like breathing. Mira stood at the window watching. "It's reacting to us," she whispered. Reyes nodded. "It knows we're here." The team prepared for boarding. They wore protective suits and carried scanners. A small shuttle took them from the Raven to the alien ship. As they approached, a strange thing happened. A door opened on its own. No one touched anything. No one sent a command. The ship just let them in. The team floated into a long, dark corridor. The walls were smooth and black with glowing lines like veins of light. It was quiet. Too quiet. No sound. No movement. "It doesn't feel empty," one of the soldiers said. "It feels asleep." Mira agreed. She could feel something like a soft vibration in the air. A presence. The ship felt alive, but also very old. They walked deeper into the ship. The lights followed them, glowing brighter as they moved. Strange symbols appeared on the walls, but no one could read them. Their scanners gave confusing results. No life signs, no power source. Yet everything worked. Then they found it. A large chamber sealed by a thick black door. The door was warm to the touch. Mira placed her hand on it. The lines of light moved under her palm, like they were responding to her. "I think it wants us to go in," she said. The team prepared weapons just in case. Reyes gave the order, and the door opened slowly. Inside the chamber, the air was cold. In the center stood a tall glass pod. Inside the pod was a being, humanoid, with pale skin and long silver hair. It was not human, but not fully alien either. It was still, sleeping. Suddenly the lights flickered. A deep sound echoed through the chamber. It wasn't a voice, but a feeling, like fear. Mira gasped. "Something else is here." The pod's glass began to glow. Symbols appeared on it. Mira looked closely and realized they were the same patterns as the signal from before. She took out her tablet and translated what she could. It says, "Warning. Do not wake. Danger inside." Reyes stepped back. "It's a prison." The being inside the pod opened its eyes. They were bright silver, glowing like stars. The team raised their weapons, but the being didn't move. It just stared at them. Then a voice echoed in Mira's mind. "Don't fear me. I am not your enemy." Mira looked around. No one else heard it. The voice was only in her head. She spoke, aloud. "Who are you?" The being replied without moving its lips. "I am the Guardian. I was placed here to protect this galaxy, but I failed. The enemy has awakened." Reyes frowned. "What enemy?" Before anyone could answer, the ship shook. Lights flashed red. Outside, a second unknown ship had appeared near the edge of the system. It was much larger than the first. Darker. Its surface looked like sharp metal and black fire. Back in the chamber, the Guardian's pod opened with a hiss. The being stepped out, weak but standing. "They found me. the Guardian said through Mira's mind. They will try to destroy this ship. They will try to stop the warning. Rays called the bridge of the Raven. Raise shields. Prepare to retreat. The enemy ship moved fast, heading straight for them. Mira looked at the Guardian. Can you help us? I can try, the Guardian replied. But this is only the beginning. Outside, the Empire ships turned to face the new threat. Their weapons charged. The unknown enemy ship did not slow down. Inside the alien vessel, the lights began to pulse rapidly. The ship was waking up, along with something ancient and powerful, and for the first time, Mira truly felt fear. The real danger was not the ship they boarded, but what was coming next. The new ship in the distance moved fast. It was much bigger than the one Mira and the others had entered. Its surface looked sharp, like black metal shaped into blades. It gave off a strange, cold energy. All Empire ships nearby quickly formed, a defensive wall around the Guardian's ship. Inside the alien ship, the lights changed again. They turned blue, then red. It was reacting to the new threat. The Guardian stood weakly near the open stasis pod, his silver eyes watching the screen. He didn't speak aloud, but Mira heard his voice clearly in her mind. They've come to silence me. I must tell you before it's too late. Commander Reyes stood beside Mira. He didn't fully trust the Guardian yet, but he also knew they couldn't face this new ship alone. What do they want? Reyes asked. The Guardian slowly looked at him. To erase, to consume. They feed on fear, on pain. They once destroyed galaxies. I stopped them long ago. But I was alone then, and I was only able to delay them, not defeat them. Mira looked up at the ceiling as the ship shook. The enemy was getting closer. The Guardian walked unsteadily toward a glowing console. He placed his hand on it and symbols lit up across the room. A strange sound filled the chamber, like a song from far away. The wall showed images, stars being destroyed, planets turned to dust, giant black ships moving like shadows through the sky. Reyes stared at the images. Is this the future? No, the Guardian replied. It is the past, and it is what will happen again if we do nothing. Mira watched the images, her heart heavy. Then why not warn us sooner? I was locked away. They feared what I knew. They feared what I could teach you. Suddenly, an alarm rang through the Raven. The second ship was powering weapons. Empire Command gave the order to defend. Fighters launched, shields went up. But the unknown enemy did not target the Empire ships. It fired at the Guardian's ship instead. A beam of red light struck the outer hull. The ship groaned. Part of the outer wall melted. The Guardian fell to one knee, holding his chest. His ship was alive, and it felt pain. They want to destroy the memory, he said weakly. They don't want you to remember what they truly are. Commander Reyes gave a command. We're pulling out. Mira, help him. We're getting everyone off this ship. Mira ran to the Guardian and tried to support him. He was heavy but didn't resist. The team moved fast, returning to the shuttle. Outside, the battle had begun. Empire fighters attacked the dark enemy ship, but their lasers bounced off its surface. Nothing worked. Just before they left, the Guardian touched the wall again. He sent one final message, not to the Empire, but into deep space. A light shot from the ship like a flare, vanishing into the stars. Mira asked, "What did you do?" I called for help, the Guardian said, but they may not arrive in time. The shuttle escaped and returned to the Raven. From the window, Mira saw the Guardian's ship burning in places. But it didn't fall. It kept floating, strong and silent, refusing to die. Back on the bridge, Reyes spoke to Empire Command. The Guardian claims this is just the beginning. He says more of these things are coming. The Emperor's voice crackled through the channel. And do you believe him, Commander? Reyes paused. I believe what I saw. Our weapons are useless. We are not ready. Mira looked at the Guardian, who now sat quietly in a medbay chair. He seemed tired, ancient, and full of sadness. She asked him quietly. What are they called? He looked at her with glowing eyes. They have no name, only hunger. But long ago your people called them the Hollow. Everyone in the room went silent. The Hollow. A name from old Empire stories. A myth. But now, that myth was real. The warning had been sent. The enemy had arrived. And the Empire was standing at the edge of a war it could not understand. Outside, the dark ship turned and disappeared into hyperspace. Not defeated, just watching, waiting. Mira felt a chill. She knew the true fight hadn't started yet. This was only the warning. The enemy ship vanished into hyperspace, but no one on the Raven felt safe. The Guardian ship was badly damaged, but still alive. The Guardian himself was weak and quiet, sitting alone in a dark room, his eyes closed as if listening to something far away. Mira stayed close to him. She had questions, but she could feel he was not ready to answer. Commander Reyes was busy talking to Empire Command. Some officers wanted to destroy the Guardian. They said he brought danger. Others believed he might be the only one who could help them survive what was coming. Reyes stood on the bridge watching stars outside. His jaw was tight. We don't have time to argue, he said. We need to prepare. Hours passed. Then, it happened. Sensors on the edge of the galaxy lit up. A second enemy ship, even larger than the first, appeared near an outer colony. This time, it didn't wait. It opened fire at once. The colony was hit by beams of red light. Buildings vanished. Power grids failed. Ships exploded before they could escape. The Hollow had returned, and now they were attacking. Empire Command ordered the fleet to move in. Warships jumped to the colony's location, but they were too late. The city was already burning. Mira watched the live footage from the bridge. The sky above the colony was filled with black ships. Small ones, fast and sharp like knives, flew around a huge central vessel that looked like a living creature. Its skin opened and closed like breathing, and its weapons fired without. Stopping, the Empire tried to fight back. Fighters launched missiles. Big ships fired lasers, but nothing worked. The enemy's shields were too strong. The Empire's ships were falling, one by one. Inside the Raven, the Guardian opened his eyes. They are testing you, he said to Mira. This is not the full force, it is only the first strike. Mira turned to Reyes. We have to do something. Reyes nodded. He had already made his decision. We'll bring the Guardian's ship online, he said. It has weapons we don't understand. But maybe that's the point. If we don't try now, we'll never get another chance. The crew returned to the damaged alien ship. With the Guardian's help, they restarted its power. The glowing lines along the walls lit up again. The ship seemed to come alive, reacting to the Guardian's presence. Reyes gave a command. Target the largest enemy ship near the colony. The alien ship didn't use lasers. It didn't use missiles. Instead, it released a wave of light, silent and bright, like a supernova. It passed through the enemy ships, and for a moment, everything stopped. Then the enemy ship started shaking. Their black skin cracked. Some exploded. Others turned and fled. Everyone on the bridge of the Raven stared in shock. We did it? A soldier whispered. No, the Guardian said, his voice heavy. You survived, that's different. The enemy had pulled back, but not because they were defeated. They had learned something, and they would return stronger. Empire Command was silent at first. Then they sent a message. Return to the capital. We need to speak face to face. The fleet turned back. But even as they moved away, they knew the Hollow could strike again at any time. Back in her room, Mira sat alone. She replayed the images in her mind. The colony in flames, the light from the Guardian ship, the way the Hollow moved like they had no fear. The Guardian stood behind her. I can help, he said softly, but only if your people listen. Mira looked up. And if they don't? Then the Hollow will take everything. She didn't say anything. She didn't have to. The war had begun, and the Empire's strongest weapons had already failed. Now they had only one hope: to trust, something they didn't fully understand. The Guardian's warning had come true. The first strike was over. The real war was about to begin. The capital of the Empire was a giant city in space. Shining towers, huge ships, and the voice of command for billions of people across the stars. When the Raven returned, the Emperor was waiting. His face was calm, but his eyes were cold. The Guardian was a mystery he did not trust. In the High Council chamber, leaders from all across the Empire argued. Some shouted for war, others demanded peace. Some wanted to use the Guardian as a weapon, while others called him a threat. Commander Reyes stood before them. "You saw what happened. Our ships failed. The Guardian's ship was the only thing. That worked." An admiral stood up. "And what if the Guardian leads the Hollow? What if this is a trick?" Mira also stepped forward. "I've spoken with him. He's not our enemy. He warned us. He helped us. If we don't listen, we'll lose more colonies, more lives." But fear had already taken root. The Empire had never been attacked like this before. They didn't know how to fight an enemy they couldn't even understand. Behind closed doors, leaders began to take sides. Some wanted to join with the Guardian and prepare for war. Others wanted to shut him away or destroy him just in case. They believed fear was safer than trust. The Empire was cracking. Outside the council, the Guardian sat quietly in a chamber made of glass. It wasn't a prison, but it wasn't freedom either. He could feel the tension in the people. He could hear their fear. Mira visited him every day. She asked questions. He answered softly, never with anger. "Why do they hate you?" she asked one day. "Because I remind them of what's coming," he said. "And because I'm not like them," she nodded. "But you saved them." "People don't always trust those who save them," he said. "Sometimes they fear them even more." News of the Council's split spread across the stars. Some planets began building their own defenses. Others broke away from the Empire completely. Small rebellions started, not against the Hollow, but against each other. The fear of the Hollow had become a weapon all on its own. Meanwhile, the Guardian began to grow weaker. His connection to his ship was fading. The ship needed repairs, but the Empire refused to give him full access. They still feared what he might do. Mira was frustrated. She argued with Reyes. "He's dying, and if he dies, we lose everything." Reyes understood. He believed the Guardian was telling the truth, but he was just one voice among many. Even he was starting to feel the pressure. The Empire was tearing itself apart, and the enemy hadn't even returned yet. Then one day, a signal arrived. It was short. A voice, broken and scared. From a distant colony. "They're here. They're inside. Nothing stops them." And then, silence. The Hollow had returned. This time they didn't just attack from space. They had sent something down to the surface. Creatures, shadows, things that whispered inside people's minds. The colony fell in hours. No survivors. The Emperor called an emergency meeting. Reyes stood before the council once again. "We have no more time to debate," he said. "We either fight together or die alone." Still, the council was divided. Half voted to support the Guardian and prepare for war. The other half walked out, declaring the Empire weak and broken. Mira watched from a high window as ships from both sides left the capital. The Empire had split in two. The Guardian watched as well. "They will fall faster now," he said. Mira asked him, "Can we stop them?" He looked at her. "Only if you're willing to lose what you're trying to protect." She didn't understand at first, but deep inside, she felt the truth. The Empire wasn't just fighting the Hollow. It was fighting itself. And if it couldn't come together, nothing could save it. The galaxy was burning. One by one, colonies went silent. Some were destroyed by fire. Others were taken without a sound. Ships sent to help never returned. The hollow moved like shadows, striking fast and vanishing. No one knew where they would appear next. The Empire was now two. One half followed the Emperor and his fleet, trusting in numbers and old weapons. The other half, smaller and scared, followed Commander Reyes, Mira, and the Guardian. They called themselves the Resistance. The Guardian's health was getting worse. His skin looked pale, almost see-through. He spent most of his time inside his ship, connected to its systems, helping it heal. Without full power, he couldn't fight the Hollow alone. And without him, the Resistance had no hope. Mira stayed close to him, helping where she could. She learned to read the glowing symbols on the ship's walls. She learned how it spoke through lights and sounds. It wasn't just a ship. It was part of the Guardian. A memory of a lost time, and a weapon built for a war long forgotten. One night, Mira heard him whisper as he dreamed, "The light is dying. The stars are closing." She touched his hand. It was cold. Meanwhile, the Emperor prepared for a final battle. His fleet had found a hollow command ship near the edge of a dying system. It was the size of a moon, and shaped like a twisted crown of metal. Strange lights moved across its surface like crawling insects. The Emperor gave the order, "Attack." Thousands of Empire ships jumped in. Missiles, lasers, and ion blasts lit up space. For a moment, it looked like they were winning. Then the crown ship opened. From inside came a pulse, dark and deep. Empire ships began to fall. Their systems failed. Crews screamed. Something was entering their minds. It was not a weapon. It was fear itself. The Guardian woke with a cry. "They found the heart," he said. "We're too late." Reyes received the signal from the Emperor's fleet. It was full of static and screaming. Then, silence. The Emperor's fleet was gone. Mira's hands shook as she read the report. "Is he?" Reyes looked at her. "The Emperor is missing. Maybe dead." Now the Resistance was all that remained. The Guardian gathered what strength he had left. He connected fully to his ship, and it glowed brighter than ever before. Stars around them dimmed slightly, as if giving power to the ancient vessel. Reyes gathered the Resistance fleet, what little remained. Old freighters, repair ships, and a few stolen warships. Not enough to win, but enough to try. The Guardian spoke to them all, not with his mouth, but in their minds. "We will face the Hollow at the core, where their oldest ship sleeps. If we destroy the heart, we buy your people time. If we fail, there will be no tomorrow." Some pilots cried. Others nodded. They jumped together. Across space, near a black star, they found it. The heart of the Hollow. Larger than any planet. Alive. Breathing. Waiting. It felt them coming. It opened. From its depths came thousands of ships. Living machines. Creatures made of bone and metal. They screamed without sound and rushed forward. The final battle had begun. Mira held her breath. She wasn't a soldier, but she was ready. She had the Guardian's codes, his trust, and something else deep inside her. Courage. Reyes gave the order. Fly. Fight. Hold the line. Ships clashed. The Guardian's vessel burned bright like a comet. For every hollow ship it destroyed, 5 more took its place. Still, they kept going. Mira guided the Guardian's power core to full focus. She saw a path, deep inside the heart. A weak point. She turned to the Guardian. "Can we reach it?" "Only if I go alone," he said. "No," she whispered. This was always the plan. He touched her forehead. A light passed between them. His memories, his pain, his love for the stars, all of it. Then he flew. His ship cut through the hollow swarm like a sword of light. It entered the heart and exploded. The shockwave was silent. Then, all the hollow ships stopped. They drifted and fell. The heart cracked and died. In that moment, across the galaxy, light returned, but the Guardian was gone. Mira watched the stars in silence. She knew it wasn't over. But for now, they had hope. Silence. After the Guardian's ship exploded inside the heart of the hollow, there was nothing. No sound, no light, just silence. Across the galaxy, the hollow ships fell like dead stars. Some crashed into planets, others drifted into black space. Their power had ended the moment the heart was destroyed, but it came with a cost. The Guardian was gone. On the bridge of the Raven, Mira stood alone, looking at the screen. Her hands were shaking, her eyes full of tears. The battle was over, but her heart felt heavy. Commander Reyes spoke softly. "We survived, but we lost him." Mira nodded. "He saved us all." The Resistance ships returned to the nearest starbase, wounded, broken, but alive. People came out of hiding. Colonies sent signals again. Lights that had gone dark now returned, one by one. The Empire, or what was left of it, began to rebuild. Few weeks passed. Mira spent her days helping repair ships and talking to survivors, but her nights were quiet. She often walked to the Guardian's chamber, now empty. The walls still glowed faintly, as if remembering him. One night, as she touched the smooth surface of the wall, she heard it. A voice. Faint. Gentle. Mira. She turned quickly. No one was there. But she knew that voice. The Guardian. Not alive. Not fully. But part of him remained. Inside the ship. Inside her. Inside the stars. His memories had not died. His light had not vanished. He had become something more, a guide, a whisper, a guardian still. Mira called Reyes and the engineers. Together they explored the remains of the Guardian's vessel. Deep in its core they found something. A glowing crystal. It pulsed slowly like a heartbeat. A message was stored inside. "I am gone, but I am not lost. Teach them, guide them, protect what they cannot yet understand. One day, they will be ready." Mira held the crystal close. She understood. Now the Guardian was not just one being. He was part of something greater, a force that moved through time, through life, through the will to protect. With the crystal's help, the Resistance began to rebuild faster. They used the Guardian's technology to make new ships. Stronger, smarter, alive. Reyes was chosen to lead the new council, but he refused the title of Emperor. "We're not an empire anymore," he said. "We're something new." They called it the Union of Light. A group of worlds standing together, not in fear but in hope. Mira became the head of exploration. She carried the Guardian's crystal on every mission. She told his story to every new planet they found. Children grew up knowing his name, and sometimes in the quiet of space, Mira would hear him again. "Still watching, little star?" She would smile. The hollow had been defeated, but the galaxy was still full of danger and wonder. The Guardian's fight was over, but the journey had just begun.